Baptist College. Tonight's big game, well, it is a big game. Two top 25 NAIA teams. The Western Baptist College Warriors, ranked number 24, and the 17th ranked Owls go head-to-head. These two teams battle hard, but before we get to tonight's matchup, a good battle last week. Unfortunately, Western Baptist losing and dropping out of number 20 spot to the number 24 spot after losing by 5 to Albertson College last weekend, Craig. And Albertson, a good team, not as good in recent years. They lose a 15-point lead in the first half, 8 at halftime, and end up losing, and that's not very characteristic.
No, it's not very characteristic. They play a very disciplined brand of ball. We're going to see two teams here tonight, Mike, who really love to get up and down the court. You got Western Baptist averaging around 82 points a game, OIT averaging about 84 points a game. The team with the defense is going to come out on top tonight. Of course, both of these teams are locked in at number 2 in the conference, right behind Evergreen State.
These are two teams that have battled for conference championships or various playoff spots in recent years. In fact, Western Baptist hasn't beat Oregon Tech in some time, and this could be the first time in, what, 8 or 9 games?
9 games in a row that OIT has won. It's been since 1997, and you remember that game very, very well down in Klamath Falls.
It was a playoff game that put the Warriors into the 1997 NAIA playoffs. They won 96-69 on the strength of one Brian Hill's hot hand, and they beat them down at OIT, which is hard to do. It's also hard to beat the Warriors here in this house. They have won 7 of their last 10 ball games, led by the 18 points and 9 rebounds of 6'7" Drew Langstrat. Some great play by Ryan Roberts, who's averaging about a dozen points a game, and certainly Nick Plotz's hot hand from three-point range hasn't hurt him either.
Well, one of the things that really sticks out about this Western Baptist team, as opposed to when you were talking about back in 1997, 6 different players have led Western Baptist in scoring throughout the season during different games. So very balanced. It could be Langstrat one night, could be Marty Reed the next night. You just don't know who's going to step up for Western Baptist.
And Tim Collins isn't locked into one just particular starting lineup. He'll mix it up. He'll make it happen. He also has, you can just look at the stat sheet and see that everybody gets a chance to play. But the key here is you got to win on your home court against a team like Oregon Tech, because you don't know near the end of the season, which is coming up in a few weeks, what's going to happen down at Cape Falls.
Right, and it all starts with stopping Lamont Swenson, the Conference Player of the Year last year, and a lot is going to be on young Mr. Swenson's shoulders here as OIT comes into this ball game, losing 2 of their starters, Elliot Marshall and Todd Matthews. Come into this game, there's about 23 points and around 8 rebounds a game missing from this Owls offense. So it's going to start with Mr. Swenson. Everything's going to run through him.
It's also, if you listen to the broadcast tonight, you'll find out this is almost a UN basketball team from about 5 different countries in various areas of the world. So Denny Miles, the second winningest coach in Oregon college basketball history, brings in a good club, but not quite as good as years past.
Well, exactly, but they're a very physical club, and it starts down in the middle with Mr. Bakalaku, or Bahalaku Yoko. That's it, I'll soon. And he is from the Ivory Coast. You talk about this UN team. There's players from France, there's players from Yugoslavia, Alaska, just all over. But they're a very physical ball club and a very big ball club, so it's going to be speed of Western Baptist going against the strength of OIT.
And we'll have that broadcast coming up for you in just a few moments. From Western Baptist College, the first ever CCTV broadcast from here, the Warriors and the Owls coming up next. Tonight's broadcast brought to you in part by Papa John's Pizza. Papa John's with 3 locations in Salem and in Kaiser. And by Travelodge, affordable accommodations in Salem on State Street. And also brought to you by United Rentals of Salem. And again, we welcome you back here as we're back up on top in the press box. Mike Gallagher, along with Craig Spivey and the Oregon Tech Owls in the traveling dark blue with the light gold jerseys, will be introduced here shortly, followed by the hometown Western Baptist Warriors. Interesting, as we mentioned earlier, here's a guy that's been coaching 31 years at Oregon Tech, that being Danny Miles. He's the short fellow over there with the dark outfit and the balding head. This guy is one of the, I guess you say, coaching institutions in the state, behind Oregon State's Ralph Miller, and just a couple ahead of the man himself. That would be former coach Tim Hills here. Starting lineups tonight for the OIT Owls, they'll bring them out here. Florian Fugay, number 13, is the 6'1 sophomore. In the middle, the 6'6 sophomore Alex Carlson. It'll be Chris Johnson, the 6'3 junior, and Mikhail Nunez. And underneath there will be Alassane Bakayoko, 15 points a game, 5 rebounds, a 76% free throw shooter, and over 60% from the field. The Warriors have mixed their matchup and turning their starting lineup a little bit here and there. But coming out in the middle will be the former state 2A player of the year out of Sandiam High School, 6'1" senior guard Nick Plotz. He'll play at the 2 guard. The starting point guard out of North Salem High School, the man that helped lead them to that state tournament final in 1997, number 13, Marty Reed. And the guy that he used to play a whole lot of basketball with down at West Albany High School. And against him, that is Ryan Roberts. The man jumping in the middle at 6'7" will be Drew Langstad. 18 points, 9 rebounds a game. And on the strong power forward, a 6'1" senior transfer from Portland State, Matt Elliott. About 10 points and approximately 5 rebounds a game. Here are two teams that are built to play each other. You like to see two tough teams play each other like that.
Well, and they're definitely into this ball game early. You can see that there's a lot of emotion here in this game before we get started.
And now we'll honor America with our national anthem. Western Baptist students honoring America with our national anthem. We're at Warrior Court for the first ever broadcast of a basketball or any sport here from the campus at Western Baptist College. And I want to tell you, it's really nice to be here for this because this just doesn't happen very often.
No, it doesn't. And in fact, the folks at CCTV had been waiting for some time for these lights to get changed out so they can come in here with their cameras, their color cameras. Well, they've done that here, and this is a great thing for Western Baptist to be on television.
A Tuesday night game here in the latter part of January. Again, Mike Gallagher along with Craig Spivey, pleased to be aboard the CCTV crew. John Stroud directing tonight, Alan Bouchong and company in control, and you'll have our crowd in front of us pretty much standing most of the time tonight. As you look down on the screen, it will be going right to left, the Western Baptist College Warriors. Drew Langstad will jump it up against Alasani Balkayoko. And the tip to the Warriors immediately over to Ryan Roberts, and they'll start the offense. They'll run pretty much out of a double high post and a lot of screening and cutting as Marty Reed starts it up out on top, and now to the transfer popping out is Matt Elliott. Marty dishes underneath Nick Plotz.
Well, OIT coming out in a 1-3-1 zone, Mike, and they did a good job, Western Baptist did, of finding the loose man along the baseline.
Lamont Swanson is the man with the ball, and he's the guy that the Warriors have to stop tonight. First shot partially deflected, but they control it, and you'll see they'll try to get it to Swanson. He has 16.6 rebounds a game, wearing number 23. And powering up into the middle that time, trying to draw the foul, and it looks like it did, Alex Carlson.
Carlson just taking it from the high post and driving and trying to get something to happen there, is able to draw the foul here and has an opportunity to get OIT on the board.
Western Baptist and Oregon Tech both tied in second place coming into this game behind Evergreen State College as Carlson nails one at the free throw line. 2-1 the score. Western up by 1. 7 wins, 3 losses. Western Baptist with an 18-5 record. OIT 17-6. And Carlson nails them both, tying it up at 2 apiece, and we're not even a minute gone into the first half of this Cascade Conference ball game. Western Baptist in the white. Marty Reed, the former North Salem star, with a dish down inside to Ryan Roberts. West Albany graduate, puts it down. Roberts coming into this game averaging about 11-12 points a game and has just been on fire. Had a couple of 20 and 24-point ball games in early January and late December. And immediately posting up down low was Balkayoko, but wow, a nice bump inside.
Well, they're going to get the foul on Matt Elliott, I believe. And that's the second team foul, second one on Elliott as well. So an early foul trouble for Elliott.
Baseline inbound for the Oregon Tech Owls, ranked number 17 in the recent NAIA poll. Warriors dropped from number 20 to 24 after that loss to Albertson last weekend. The high post man will drive around the man with 2 fouls, Matt Elliott. You got to let Carlson in, and he puts it down. He's got all the points. And breaking it up at the other end on defense, as we talked about before this ball game, Oregon Tech filling the gap.
Alex Carlson able to come up with the steal.
Traveling down low on Bakayoko, and that's Bakayoko, and he is from
the Ivory Coast by way of Winthrop University. That's kind of a roundabout way to get to OIT, huh?
Isn't that where they learn how to drive limousines? Winthrop, would you pull the limo around, please? 4-4 tie here, 18:20 on the clock, and immediately the Webster's Baptist goes for the tray, and it's Ryan Roberts. Boy, he's been doing that since his freshman year at West Albany High. 5 points for Roberts, 7-4 Warriors lead. And now a little guard action with Florian Bouger. Bouger gets a couple of screens, puts up a prayer and nothing. And now a 3-on-3 break, and now for the three from the other corner. Nick Plotz will miss it. He's a 41% three-point shooter.
Well, these teams just love to get into the transition, don't they, Mike?
They love to push it down the floor. Now loose ball off of the foot of one of the Owls, that being Swanson. Half-court pass in the corner from Reed to Roberts. That's two of them right there, and I think Danny Miles is going to have to call a timeout if this continues.
All right, Brian Roberts had a big grin on his face as he ran by the student section here. He feels it.
10-4 the score, and a nice move inside, and it's been mostly Alex Carlson. In fact, all Alex Carlson, 6 of the 6 Owl points right now with a 10-6 Western Baptist lead.
Well, Alex has the mismatch down below right now on Matt Elliott. Elliott playing with those 2 fouls, so they're able to go right at him.
Matt Elliott, the transfer from Portland State, number 40 on his back. 2 fouls early, so they're going to play away from him. And Drew Langstrat, 18 points, 9 rebounds, and this guy can sky. And look at that. Drew Langstrat with a couple, 12-6.
Boy, nice, pretty step-around move there, Mike.
Warriors controlling it early, but they had it controlled early against Albertson last Friday and lost it by 5 at the end. I think the defense has changed after a few of Tim Collins' practices. Tim now with over 400 collegiate career wins in his 3rd year here at Western Baptist, but the Owls find a little gap down inside. Bakayoko with his first bucket tonight. Again, 15 points and 5 rebounds average for that young man.
Boy, with Matthews and Marshall out of this lineup, they're really going to more of a post game, Mike, not playing along the perimeter at all, that being OIT.
Well, here's Roberts for 3 more out front. He's putting on a clinic right now. He's got 11 of the 15 points, and he has 3 threes, Craig.
3 in a row.
16:07 on the clock. Tim Collins has got to be happy early on, but he won't be happy until the final double zeros are up there, and he's got the W. Down low, they'll go around the baseline, and almost rejected by Roberts. Bakayoko puts a couple more in. Marty Reed, boy, that young man is a 3-year starter at North Salem, helped lead the Vikings to that 1997 state championship try, and he gets the bucket underneath all by himself, hanging out in the weeds.
A nice job of losing his defender there, and again, a good recognition by Western Baptist.
Couple of changes getting ready to step up here as the Owls try to get back into this one, trailing by 7, going for the 3 out front. And Alex Carlson comes up short. Nick Plotz tries to save it off of Bakayoko and can't get it to save. You know, we're talking about players on this team. 2A player of the year 4 years ago, Nick Plotz of Sandy Am. The 1A player of the year out of Duper, Ben Morris. He'll see a little action later on tonight. And Kenny Stone, who plays a little number 4, the guard, the 2A player of the year out of Washington State last year. They definitely go with a lot of talent. Western Baptist knows how to recruit. 15-12 on the clock, 17-10 the Warrior lead, and Mick Jacobson with the ball just into the game, number 31. The rotation out front with Roberts on the arc. Langstrat dangerous, but he'll go to his partner, Mick underneath. Mick too far underneath the hoop, hits the bottom of the rim. Mick gets back on defense, and it looks like the Owls nearly throw it away, but tapped by one of the Warriors. Kind of close call there.
Well, OIT on the defensive end is doing a good job changing up their defense almost every time down the floor, Mike. That time they're in a 2-3 zone, able to cause the turnover by Western Baptist.
Baseline inbound. New 35-second shot clock, and they'll go from that left corner looking for something. Bakayoko's been the only guy in travel before the offensive foul. This is not the Ivory Coast.
It's not the Ivory Coast. And I tell you what, he sent Langstrat just flying on the floor there. But fortunately for Bakayoko, He picked up the travel before the personal foul, as you mentioned.
And Drew knows how to fly, too. He can't only fly vertical, he can fly backwards, too. 17-10 Warriors in this Cascade Conference matchup, a key one right now in this 3/4 of the way through the season. Marty Reed, the quick-handed point guard junior, he has matured so much since his graduation in '97 from North. He and Nick Plotz together are magic. Down low, Mick the Quick! Reverse layup for Mick the Quick!
Oh, baby, that was beautiful.
Big time. Owls try to find a spot, answering with the 3. They come up short, tipped by Reed, and 19-10 the score remains. Warriors having fun right now with the ball. Mick again, backing in. Reverses his shot a little bit, misses it, and the Owls come off the miss and the rebound. 13:50 on the clock in the first half. Looking for the 3 out front for Carlson. Carlson just twice to split the defenders, and once you slightly lower that shoulder and somebody flops, it's an offensive foul.
Wow, Drew Langstrand that time did a great job of weak side help and coming up and drawing that foul.
Well, the timeout is called now. A quick one by Danny Miles. And Danny Miles, 2 wins away from becoming tied with Ralph Miller, 3 wins away from becoming the all-time winningest coach in Oregon college basketball history, behind former Oregon State big guy Ralph Miller, the late Ralph Miller.
And what is it about these basketball coaches that are about 5'3", you know?
He's fiery, and I'll tell you what, Danny Miles is one of those coaches you want to watch coach, you want to watch his teams play because they're exciting. And just like Tim Collins, Tim just gets his team in shape. He never lets on them. He loves them to death. He cares about their emotional lives, their spiritual lives, certainly their what goes on in their lives, and certainly what's going on with their how can I say this, their school life as well. And if you don't pass the class, you don't put on the uniform at this place.
Well, and his players love playing for him, and they are having fun. You said it earlier. Right now, they are really in a groove.
Warrior ball on the baseline. Plotz. Nick will kick it out to Mick the Quick Jacobson, and he walked with it. Already double dribbled, and that can happen when you're leaning in and trying to control the dribble. Mick could probably be a starter, but he really is most effective off the bench, and that's where Collins has him. As the Owls come down and pump up a 3, get the rebound off the miss, and Chris Johnson tries to make something happen. Low post to Mitrovic, and Mitrovic turns around. Milja Mitrovic out of Belgrade, Yugoslavia. A couple. 19-12 Warriors. Marty over to Mick. Jacobs about on top to Langstrat. He'll take over a game if there's an opportunity, but is a team player. Now Marty going baseline, a little finger roll up short. Looked like it perhaps a little far too underneath that basket on the release. And as you said earlier, Craig, Al's extremely fast as they go for 3. And they find the range, and that's Chris Johnson.
Well, last time down the floor, Marty Reed had his man Huge beat on the baseline. He just left it up short.
4-point ball game now. 19-15 Warriors with 12.5 minutes to play in this first half. It'll be Marty Reed out front. Bodies flying away from the ball. He'll reset up the offense with under 15 on the shot clock now. Freshman Ben Morris out of Dufur High getting ready to check in for the Warriors. Drew out front for 3, short on the pop jumper, and the Owls with the rebound trail by 4. Once point down by 9. They go length of the court on a quick transition. Nothing on the rebound. Plotzy's there to pull it down, and Nick leads the break. Pull up right side is Ryan Roberts. The 3 misses, and it remains 19-15 Western Baptist. Good thing this is not on the radio tonight, or yours truly be tired at halftime. The Owls, of course, they're not the kind of team that necessarily likes to sit out and shoot the long jumper. They like to work it down inside.
Well, and they like to get out in transition. That time, Nick Plotz doing a good job getting his hand in there, knocking it out of bounds.
Well, with 11 minutes and 52 seconds remaining in the first half here, Warriors lead at 19-15 and the old media timeout. Coming into tonight's ball game, the Warriors have won 7 of the last 10 games, including a big 101-71 defeat of Eastern Oregon last week. On Saturday, 89-85, they lose to Albertson, and then they had won 3 in a row. And in the conference, one of the hottest teams in the conference. But one of the new hot teams, if you'll watch the Cascade Collegiate Conference standings, is Evergreen State College, just out of near Olympia, Tacoma, Washington. This team has got 2 Division I player transfers, legit transfers, and these guys take over a ball game.
Well, they're 16-5 overall, but they're 10-1 in the conference, and they've got a good 2-game lead right now. It's still a long way to go, but they're solidly planted in first place right now. And of course, these 2 teams, Western Baptist and OIT, would like to crack that party a little bit, but right now they're locked in at second at 7-3.
Albertson College, typically one of the top 3 teams, has dropped to a tie for 3rd place with Warner Pacific, an up-and-coming team that was in the cellar for many years. They're 6-4. Coming up next for Western Baptist, they'll be home on Tuesday, make that Saturday the 26th of January with Concordia University, a team that was a top 10 NAIA team until a few years ago. Then are on the road for Evergreen State and Northwest, and back home for their final 2 games, February 8th and 9th, before finishing it out on the road. After the timeout, Owls basketball, and they'll work it around in a little more disciplined manner with some rotation and a lot of screen. Out front for 3, first shot from this young man, and Kevin Baker finds the range for his first points of the night. Baker out of Boardman's Riverside High School. And if they're not from overseas, they're from tiny schools.
Well, all of a sudden, Mike, it's a 1-point ball game. Western Baptist seemed to have this thing in pretty good control early, but the Owls right back in it.
Tyson Kremling, 0-0, back into the game, and freshman Ben Morris out of Dufur High with the ball, 42, dumps it down low to Mick, and Jacobson can't hang on to the ball. He is not, Coach Collins has not been afraid to use young Ben Morris, the 1A Oregon Player of the Year here last year at Dufur High School, All-State. Great young man. High post to the Tech Warriors, trailing 19-18 now with under about 11 minutes to play in this first half. High post, camping in the lane down there. Where's the 3 call? Now they're going to get Crumley with the foul, but I think they got to pick up the 10th there where Malalia Mitrovic was down there camping and cooking dinner and everything else.
Well, he did have good inside position that time, gives a little head fake, and then Tyson comes over and gets him on the arm. But a good foul, however, because he was going to get an easy basket there, so Crumley puts him on the line.
Mitrovic out of Yugoslavia, first free throw will not go down. He already has a couple tonight. Mitrovic, a 6'9" junior out of Belgrade, 240 pounds.
Another transfer from Northwest Junior College in Wyoming. That's where they find these guys. They're going to the JCs.
They like playing in that high altitude air, and it's over 4,000 feet in Klamath Falls. All tied up now, 19-19 with 10:55 to play, and the Western trying to get it going. There's Lebanon's Charlie Pace into the game, 35, and lost the handle on the dribble. I think he dribbled right past the ball.
Well, Huge was on the defense there, and he had good position along the baseline, forced the turnover.
Only 4 fouls called so far tonight, but 3 of them on the Warriors. Low post to Mitrovic, almost stolen by Marty Reed, and Crumley posting up well down low. Tyson out of Bandon High School. Into the corner, still looking for that magic 3 is Mikael Nunes. 3 in the key. They're going to have
there
to
you go.
I'd say 5 or 6 in the key because he was, like I said, it's like you put caught in quicksand. He doesn't know how to get out of there.
Yeah, there's your call. You must have sent that telepathically down to the men in stripes.
Tonight, it's Al Morberg, your lead referee. He's the good-looking one with the less hair. Then there's Greg Nixon and Wendell Pelham. And now we know you love you. We've been watching you for years. And if we get a chance to look over on the Al bench, there are 2 radio guys. If we get a chance on the screen a little later, one of them is a former All-American and NBA player with his headset on. That's
Mel Counts.
Mel Counts of Oregon State, along with Bobby Thompson, the voice of the Owls. 19-19 tie with about 10 minutes to go here. And a quick movement on the ball, tapped out of bounds by Nunes.
Nunes, another one of those international flavored players.
What flavor is he, anyway?
He's French. He's from a little town in France.
Sideline inbound, the 20 seconds on the shot clock now. All tied at 19, and Marty Reed with the ball trying to make it happen. Mick Jacobson posting up Langstrat in the paint, gets in, gets out, goes up, and he's ripped. Backside, Kevin Baker, if you slap down, which he did, he's going to get Drew. And Drew shooting very well from the free throw line, over 70%.
Well, Langstrat has a very quick drop step, especially to his left there. That's unusual for a big man, and really gives him an advantage, and that's how he drew that foul. He stepped down very quickly. Now they're going to say he wasn't shooting, and they're going to take this underneath.
Well, that's a close call because I think it could have gone either way, but I don't see too many people jumping up and down to include Coach Ken Collins. So Marty gets a new 35 in the shot clock, and Reed will inbound on the baseline. Here comes the freshman, Ben Morris, over to Mick Jacobson. Fall away 15-footer from Mick Jacobson.
Now that stops the dry run there for Western Baptist.
Boy, I'm telling you, a dry run and nothing else. It was a 9-0 run. Now 21-19 Western. In the lane for the Owls. Off the bench comes Baker. Misses the shot, and only one shot the last couple of dimes down the floor for the Owls, as the Warrior defense doing well. In the middle, Jacobson. Nice spin move. 2 back-to-back buckets for Mick. It's 23-19 Warriors.
Well, they're having some success, Mike, in posting their guys down low now, not playing perimeter ball.
Trying to play perimeter here to get back in this game a little bit. Over the top, rebound the shot, and put it up and down, looking for the foul. Oregon Tech's Matt Johnson.
Actually, I don't know how Drew got away with not getting a foul on that one.
He was nice about it, I guess.
Yeah.
Reed with the ball out to Ben Morris. Morris to Pace. Charlie looking for a shot. 2-point lead now. Marty not just to throw up the three like he used to in high school. He'll work it in first, and that's his job as the point guard. Lost the handle, picked up the dribble, no problem. And they're playing Marty tough. Takes the screen, looking to shoot. 7 seconds as he releases the ball, and Marty walked with it.
Yeah, one too many step-around moves that time, and finally got the call on him.
But this is not just the only Western Baptist basketball broadcast we'll have here on CCTV coming up in February. The Western Baptist women hosting Evergreen State College February 2nd. We'll have the games after February 2nd here on CCTV Channel 22 in Salem. 8:35 remaining here. Still a 2-point game, and Oregon Tech trying to tie it up with an air ball off the glass. Charlie Pace pulls it out with one hand, controls the dribble, and now the 3-on-2 jailbreak up ahead to Langstrat. Langstrat with a pass into the corner and over to Morris. Morris lets the ball off of the Owls, and wow, a little out of control.
Well, I tell you what, you talk about letting them play here as Michael Nunes went flying that time. Somebody gets bumped and sent to the floor. There's got to be a call one way or the other. Either it's offense or it's defensive blocking, because it certainly altered the play, but no call, ball goes out of bounds.
8:24 on the clock here. 23-21 Warriors, and a couple of defensive changes. And back in is Bakayoko. There you go. Kenny Stone, the two-way player of the year in Washington State, will inbound it off to the off the baseline, but tipped out of the air by the Owls, I should say, and now they've got the ball, trailing by 2. Baseline. Mick with some great defense on Bakayoko. Alters his shot twice. Rejects the ball, but the Owls control. No three-pointer for them, and Ryan Roberts, a big rebound underneath.
Well, this is where we thought OIT may have an advantage, is on the boards, because they are a great rebounding team. They certainly showed it there.
Roberts looking to shoot the three and then drive and shoot. Gives up the pass and the dribble now to Drew. Langstrat, sideline left, that walked with the ball, and I hate to say it, Drew, big guy, but it is a good call. The timeout with 7 minutes and 47 seconds remaining here in the first half. 23-21 Warriors. I want to thank Sports Information Director Tim Smith, Athletic Director and Head Coach Tim Collins for all the support they've given CCTV here to have an opportunity to bring this broadcast to you. Again, the first ever broadcast of television out of the C.E. Jeffers Warriors court.
Maybe we can talk Alan into getting out to Paul Gale's baseball venue.
Ah, that's nice out there.
It's really nice.
And they're going to win some games this year, and they've got some new colorful uniforms, so that's going to help. You can see the guys in the gold baseball jersey sitting in front of us. There he is, Bill Counts on the far left, former Oregon State and NBA star, and man in the middle there with the white pant is the longtime voice of the Oregon Tech Owls, one of the nicest guys in this business, and that being Bobby Thompson, just a sweetheart. But Bill Counts, wow. Hanging out. They used to be college roommates at Oregon State.
Were they really?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So says Bobby.
Well, I thought Mel was like in the Woodburn kind of area. But
he's a realtor up in the Woodburn area in North Marion County, and nice man, good man. I think he must owe Bobby money, because that's why he's sitting over there.
Oh, wait a minute. He gets Mel Counts, you get me. What does that mean?
You owe me money?
Sorry, I ate it in pizza.
I'll lose money that way. 23-21 Warriors in the Oregon Tech Owls in a big battle underneath going on in this zone defense. Langstrat and Bakayoko fighting up down front. Left side off the baseline, draw it in, split the defenders, and the foul of somebody with a white jersey hacking on the drive of Alex Carlson and Mick Jacobson.
That's right. I think that's going to go to Mick there. And he didn't really like the call, but for Mick, that's only his first. It's a fourth team foul, however.
Mick's like anybody else's competitor. It's not really on him. He was in the vicinity. He didn't cause the foul. 7.5 to play, still a 2-point lead. Immediately going for three on the inbounds play, and Mick with the rebound up in front.
Yeah, that's usually what happens. Thank you very much.
Off to Ryan Roberts, air ball shot, and no return shot. Still a 2-point lead. Looking at numbers here, Western Oregon Tech shooting about 40% from the field. Western Baptist nearly 63%. Trying to post up, now going for the three. Nope. They'll pull out and work that shot clock down where it's near 15 now. Talk about 3 seconds in the key. How long do they let them hang out in that blue area?
Well, this is where the strength of OIT is down low in the post, and if they're able to get that all night long, it's going to be a problem for Western Baptist. They need to think of how they're going to counteract it.
Lots with a pass down inside to Langstrat, and now Mick Jacobson with the free throw line jumper, a little short, hard off the iron, and the Owls hustling, as they call themselves, the hustling Owls, hustle in, but here we come with a little layup. Nick Plotz from Marty Reed off the turnover. Marty Reed just smoothed the silk out there with that ball, whether it's leading a pass like that or leading one up underneath for a dunk. Nearly a steal again. Marty and Plotz playing catch and grab here. Bakayoko for the jam. No, he just wants to lay it off the glass and gets it. He's got 8 points right now to lead the Owls in scoring in another tie ball game at 25.
Now, so far in this ball game, the Owls are winning the boards 11-7, and that midway point there as far as leading in rebounds.
Nearly a steal as Reed will control it, put up the running jumper, a little hard off the iron, but Langstrat with the follow-up, and Drew with his 4th point, 18-point a game average, 9 rebounds a game. Just as smooth a guy as you'd want to hang around in terms of basketball. Low post pass inside to Bakayoko, cut off by Jacobson. But the Tech Owls hang on to it, but force a bad pass, and Western Baptist getting the ball back off the turnover.
Drew Langstrat, great recognition that time. He was going after the ball. He laid off on it just on time as it went out of bounds and was able to create the turnover. Mike, we were talking about the balanced scoring of Western Baptist in the pregame here. Here's Marty Reed, had 17 points on Saturday night. He's only got 2 tonight, but he's staying within the offense and is able to get the balls to guys like Ryan Roberts with 11 points so far in this game.
Marty doesn't care if he has 17 points, 17 rebounds, or what. He just wants a W, and whatever it takes. High post to bounce pass to Langstrat, or make that to Drew. Neither one of those. That's Mick Jacobson, and I know who you are, brother. 29-25 Warriors by 4 as we approach the 5-minute mark in the first half. Oregon Tech having a tough time maintaining their offense. They have spurts of greatness. They go to the low post guy who's playing the 4 spot, goes for the drive, misses off the pass, and then misses on a follow-off to Mitrovic. Rebound, Roberts lead it up, take it home, Mick Jacobson. 2 slamma-jammas tonight for Big Mick.
All right, that was a beautiful assist that time by Ryan Roberts as well. He shows I can not only score, I can lead it as well, and he left that with a nice no-look pass. And we have an injured OIT player here.
And we have an official timeout as Milja Mitrovic is the man they're going to attend here with 4:29 remaining, 31-25, and there's Denny Miles. Danny, of course, again, 31 years and a fiery guy, but, you know, you sit and talk to him before or after a game. As they say, one of the nicest guys you'll meet. Replay coming up here. We're going to look at this lead pass. Look at Roberts' great vision.
Well, he had great recognition on the transition. Both of these teams are so good in transition. And right now, one of the things that Western Baptist has done is to kind of counteract that low post game. Now they've gone to a 2-3 zone on the defensive side here, gone out of their man-to-man in the half court, and it's helped them out a lot as OIT is not getting those easy shots down low that they were earlier.
Well, Tim Collins will send his regular starting 5 back in, leading 31-25 here. Currently, Ryan Roberts leading the scoring with 11. 6 for Jacobson, 4 for Plotz. Marty Reed with a pair. Drew Langstrat with a pair. Marty will pick up the defender, the guy with the ball, that is. He is the defender, Florian Fouché. Florian with a pass to the left side to Swinson. And Swinson's been pretty much a no-name player here tonight. He hasn't scored a lick, and he averages 16 a game, and now a loose ball battling in the lane. Are they going to call that 3 or not? I guess not. Jumper from outside, nothing. And Marty out of the pack with the rebound. Up ahead to Ryan Roberts, cut off on the baseline. Matt Elliott, a senior at 6'8". Portland State transfer, has been a lot where they had some holes to fill in terms of defense, offense at that post position. Give and go to Plotz. Plotz with the dish back to Elliott and slapped out of bounds.
Well, that's a case of maybe one pass too many there. Nick had a nice lane that time. Probably could have gone and laid it high off of the glass. He wanted to leave it off there for Matt Elliott, and the ball gets swatted out of bounds.
31-25 with 3 minutes and 49 seconds remaining. Change will bring in Michael Nunes, the freshman out of France, number 15. Kevin Baker returns, also 41, to replace Carlson. It'll be a baseline inbound with 14 seconds in the shot clock now for the Warriors. Dump it up high, down low. There's Matt, rolls to the hoop. Matt Elliott, first bucket of the night. Started the game out in the first 2 minutes with 2 fouls.
Well, that was great inside position that time. About 3 feet from the basket. Great position.
33-25, picked off by Elliott. It's a one-on-one horse race, and he puts it to the rack and gets fouled. The follow-up by Roberts, I think he was cleaning dust off the top of the rim, trying to keep from falling.
Now here we are, 3:31 to go in the half, Mike, and only 3 team fouls, only 7 fouls total being called in this ballgame.
Well, let's give hats off to Al. He can stop over and get some pizza at halftime. I think he's doing a good job out there. Matt Elliott, kind of a tough shot to put up if you've been running up and down as much as he has and hadn't had a chance to rest for a while. That first free throw kind of showed it. He's 0 for 1. Next one online, it looks good, and he gets it, 1 out of 2, and 3 points in the game. He'll check out. Drew Langstrat checks back in with 3.5 minutes to play in the half, and a 34-25 lead. Biggest lead of 9 tonight, back to 9. Looking for 3 out front to answer at the other end, and the Owls light it up with Matt Johnson.
Boy, Johnson was barely on that line, Mike. He got the 3, but I was thinking he was going to get a 2 there for a minute.
Mick Jacobson into the paint. Fall-away jumper, one of his specialty shots.
Boy, do these teams go in streaks or what? My goodness.
36-28 Warriors. They open up the middle for the drive, but I think they're going to be content with the outside shot, trailing as much as they are. Nothing in the low post. Langstrat and Jacobson seeing to that. On the edge, forced the pass. He forced it into a crowd and out of bounds, but off of a Warrior. Changes now. Freshman Ben Morris back in, number 42, replacing Mick Jacobson with 2:51 to go. I haven't seen a real non-effective combination on the floor yet for the Warriors. Tickle inbound. Dish it to their post man. He'll pull up, falling away from the Ivory Coast, and hits the back of the glass and nothing. The putback is no good. And Langstrat pulls down one of those rebounds. He's averaging 9 a game right now. Dish it to Marty. The guard draws a crowd, but Ben Morris, the three-pointer. Ben Morris had 13 points against Eastern Oregon last weekend, averaging about 5 points a game when he's getting in there. And the Tech Owls trying to answer with 3, and Warriors seldom giving them a second shot. Nearly picking their pocket, but a foul will go against Roberts.
Boy, I tell you, Danny Miles was really upset. He slammed that basketball down. What he didn't like was the ball was loose on the floor, and Ryan Roberts went at it hard and went right over the top of Michael Nunes and kind of put his head down in the floor there, and Miles wanted a foul called on Ryan Roberts, didn't get it. So he slammed that Spalding down and went about 30 feet up in the air.
Nunes, I thought for a while, was looking for his contact, but he got the wind knocked out of him, and the front of his head's bothering him. He's going to the side there. 39-28 Western Baptist, with 2 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in the half. Mike Gallagher along with Craig Spivey. John Stroud with the controls. Alan Bouchong and company.
John's at the controls?
Well, I think he's awake.
Okay.
Okay. His daughter Joe, of course, goes here to Western Baptist. Older daughter Nisha. 2 former CCTV folks we've watched grow up with a camera in their hands.
Yeah, she's back in Ohio
She's
somewhere.
at Cedarville. Who cares about her?
I tell you what, Mike, whenever there's a loose ball, both of these teams go after the ball so hard every time there's a loose ball.
Right.
It's a wonder nobody's been hurt prior to right now, is they're going to wipe up some perspiration on the floor here.
Marty gets caught in the middle out there. They're going to look outside and popping up for that 3. Look at that freshman fire that ball. Just like in downtown Doofer. home of Kramer's Country Store, where they serve that great sausage that they make there in Dufur. You know where Dufur is? It's near Boyd.
It's a suburb of Boyd.
Boyd's a
now,
suburb of
how
Dufur.
do you know about this sausage? That's what I want to know.
Oh, it's great stuff. It's great stuff. They're picking up perspiration and blood here, and they have Kylie Miller, the assistant trainer, coming over to make sure everything's picked up. There's a gal who was all conference in basketball, blew her knees out, couldn't play anymore. She's found her love for the mission field, and between now and then, she's just going to work with head trainer Jen Krug. 39-28 after the official timeout. Tech with the basketball with a little over 2 minutes to play here. And out front directing traffic will be Houchet. Florian driving, and Reed will cut him off out there. 5 team fouls on the Warriors, just 3 on Oregon Tech here with under 2 minutes to play in the first half. Working that shot clock, under 15, and they muscle around Langstrath. A little push in there by Michael Ray, the 6'6 freshman out of Salt Lake City.
Ray able to use that body to create a little bit of separation there and get the shot off.
11-point lead down to 9 now, 39-30 Western Baptist. Reed with the dribble up between the circles. A little more deliberate looking at that 2-3 matchup zone, or is that more of a man? I guess it is a man. It looked like a 2-3 zone. Morris on the baseline, bouncing it into Langstrath, and fronting Langstrath on the baseline, picking up the foul is the freshman, Mike Ray.
Well, Ray was trying to front Langstrath. That's why he got the foul. Drew had a good job, did a good job of using his off arm, keeping him away from him, and picking up the foul.
U35 on the shot clock, and Marty Reed will inbound from the baseline left. Out to Morris. Minute 15 and counting here in the first half. Warriors have led the entire way, tied up 4 times. And now they'll just run that shot clock down and hang on to this lead. You do not want to play around with a Danny Miles coach team. They'll pick your pocket and score, and the next thing you know, it's a 2-point ball game. Marty Reed releasing it, 4 points. Under a minute to play now, 53 seconds and counting, and the Tech Owls trying to get back into it, and Ryan Roberts picks it clean, but the Owls get it back. From right to left to the free throw line, and Florian Fouchet's jumper, Second shot, nothing. Langstrath with the rebound with 37 seconds. I just run it down under 5 seconds on that shot clock, Craig.
There you go. And that looks like what they're going to do. They're going to spread the floor here, Mike, try to get something in the back door going.
3 Mid-Valley boys out in the half-court line. Nick Plotz from Santa Ana with the ball. Marty Reed and Ryan Roberts. But now they go down inside to Morris. Morris loses the dribble on the baseline, tapped around, 13 seconds, Tech with the ball, down by 9. Florian Houchet, looking baseline, reverse layup, double pump in the air, nothing. Loses the shot, half-court shot, one-handed by Langstrath, hits rim and glass, and that's the end of your first half, an exciting first half of play here from Warrior Court on the campus at Western Baptist. And the number 24 ranked Western Baptist Warriors leading number 17th ranked Oregon Tech at the break, 41-30. Take a quick break here, and we'll come back with our halftime statistics and the tip-off of the second half here in just a few moments. Center, one of the things real quick, Craig, is Anthony, you got us on. Nice frame, big guy.
Yeah.
66%, 67% shooting from the field right now are Western Baptist compared to 38%. That's the big stat right there.
Well, that's a big stat, and they really started out very, very hot early and really went through a dry spell. When Ryan Roberts nailed 3 in a row from three-point land, it looked like Western Baptist was going to run this thing going. But then they cooled off a little bit, but still shooting 67% for the half is very impressive.
Leading scorers right now for Western Baptist, 12 for Mick Jacobson, and that's off the bench with 12 minutes of playing time out of 20. 11 for Ryan Roberts with 3 threes out in 17 minutes. They are the leading scorers right now, and then 4 each for Marty Reed as well as Drew Langstrath, 3 for Matt Elliott. Couple of replays we want to show you. One is Mick Jacobson off the bench, and we see Mick coming up underneath. Nice loft underneath from Plotzy. Reverse layup, Mick the quick to the rack, and he scores it. And as I said early in the first half, Craig, here's a guy that could start for this ball club, but quite frankly, he plays so much better off the bench in a reserve role as that 6th man, as you saw.
Well, and he brings a lot of energy when he comes onto the floor, and you couple that with Langstrat and the other players, post players down low, and that's really kind of a little bit of a surprise where Western Baptist is really having a better day of it underneath than you would think against the bigger OIT team. 16 rebounds for OIT, 13 for Western Baptist, so they're right there.
We talk about the guys underneath, but also the guys out front. For a guy we're real familiar with since he was a sophomore in high school, Marty Reed. Not a lot of points in the first half, but here's Marty showing his stuff underneath. A little fake move, little drive, fall-away jumper near the end of the first half there. Hits 2 of his 4 points. He's been playing a lot out there. 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 points. Not a bad first half output.
Well, and this is how Marty's game has really matured since he came out of North Salem High School. He was mostly a perimeter player, perimeter shooter at North Salem. Now he can drive, spot up, hit the jumper. That one right before the clock expired on that possession.
Leading scorer for Oregon Tech, number 35, Alsani Bakayoko, 8 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 points for Matt Johnson off the bench, 3 each for Baker and Mitrovic, and 6 for Alex Carlson, their big man.
Well, and the big thing that's missing out of this one is the young man we talked about on the outset, Lamont Swinson, coming into this game, the conference player of the year last year, averaging over 16 points a game coming in here. He's got 0, a big goose egg here at halftime. Great defense by Western Baptist on Lamont Swinson.
The final 20 minutes on the clock, a 9-point lead, make that an 11-point lead for the Warriors. They're on defense as Oregon Tech down to your left now with the basketball. They're going with their regular starting 5 across from Carlson. Here comes Lamont looking for his first bucket of the night. Couldn't get it to drop down inside. The follow-up no good. And look at the scrappiness of the Warriors. Bakayoko, 2 shots, 3 shots. Couldn't get it to go in the defense between, well, certainly Langstrat along with Matt Elliott holding things up. Here's Marty out front for 3. Says, you going to give it to me? I'll take that.
Yeah, just as we were talking about him becoming more of a driver and a shooter, he pops the 3. He could still do it.
44-30 gets the first points of the second half, and we're going to battle for second place here tonight in the conference. And Bakayoko with a nice move up underneath, but had to reach out too far, and Langstrat yanked it down. Roberts cross court over to Nick Plotz and try to set up a more deliberate offense right now with Marty up front. Langstrat 34. Matt in the middle, and now up in the air, partially blocked. Quick fall away jumper, and Florian Fouget got a handle on it. They're going to look for 3 here, trailing by 14 points. The Owls trying to get back into this one quickly. Danny Miles wants an up-tempo game, and you're starting to see it. Lamont Swinson with the ball, no points, and again, 16-point average. Defense has done well, and just things like that have stymied him all night long. Bakayoko misses a shot up underneath, gets another miss. He must be 0 for 5 now, 0 for 6 in the second half alone. And finally a whistle and a foul, and Danny Miles having a little...
Boy, he felt like he was really getting pushed around, and he finally does get the foul call. But 2 trips down the floor now for OIT. They got 7 shots off and no points on those 2 trips down the floor. So doing a good job on the offensive boards, but just not able to convert.
Bakayoko, first time at the strip tonight. He's got 8 points to lead the Tech Owls coming into the second half in scoring, and now 9, and he's 1 for 1. 18:22 on the clock, 44-31. Cascade Conference action. The men are home on Friday night, Saturday, the 26th of January with Concordia. Next free throw won't go, but a whistle on the release. And it looks like he's back at the line. That one won't count.
Well, I think they were saying that Langstrat was in the lane too early there, and so another shot for Bakayoko.
Out of Ivory Coast. Nice touch. Technically, 2 out of 2 at the line tonight, 44-32. A minute and a half gone in the second half. After this weekend, only 2 regular season home games remain on February 8 and 9 for the win. Women are home on February 1 and 2. High post, now to the low post. Over to Langstrat into the corner. This guy shoots 42% from three-point range. The leading three-point shooter on the team, Drew Langstrat. He's got 7. 47-32, and the Tech Owls trying to hustle their way back into the lead, trailing here. Into the corner, timeout. Oregon Tech with 17:45 to go, trailing Western Baptist 47-32. And you know, we talked about another man that Oregon Tech's missing, Matthews. Leads the conference in assists with 6, steals with 5. He broke his hand about 2 weeks ago in that win over Concordia. And he's averaging about 14 points a game before going out with a stress fracture. And that stress fracture will keep him out probably until the playoffs, which begin right around the 18th or 19th of February. And we'll take a look at this, a replay of this three-pointer. Watch this shot. Powered it inside into the corner, and look what Drew just set up. Easy as you please, 20-footer on the way.
Oh, that's pretty, coming right at the camera there. And one of the things that you notice that Western Baptist does so well is balance the floor. They don't get caught up around the ball, and they're always able to pick up the open man, and that's what created that wide open shot for Langstrat. Mike, you talked about the 2 players missing for OIT tonight. This team coming in averaging 84 points a game. They're sitting on only 32 right now. Well, you just took 23 points a game out of their lineup there with the loss of Matthews and Marshall. So, you know, I don't care who you are, that's got to hurt.
Western Baptist, as you said, averaging 82 points a game, scoring, giving up about 72-73, shooting 53% from the field. They were over 55% last week, but Albertson's kind of knocked that down, but they shoot nearly 37% from three-point range as a team.
Boy, and they're getting all of that tonight.
On the inbounds, Oregon Tech rejected by Langstrat, and he got some arm that time. I think Drew has gotten away with at least 1, perhaps 2 tonight. That time, referee Al Molberg was there, and Drew picks up foul number 2.
Carlson gets the baseline here. He gets the first step on Langstrat down the baseline, gets a good position. So Drew was not in a position to knock that ball away. He creates the foul.
Got a 15-point lead. That's the largest of the night right now. So they can cut into that a little bit. And Alex Carlson will do so. He is 3 for 3 from the line tonight with 7 points. Carlson, 6'6" sophomore out of Culver High School, which is up between Redmond and Madras. Home of the Bulldogs and H2O water, I believe it is. What's that water called? H2O, C2O, or?
Well, I'm just impressed that you know the mascot. That's pretty good.
Bulldogs.
Culver Bulldogs.
I remember, I worked TV sports over there for a while. You can't help but know that. Here goes Ryan Roberts. Give and go from Marty Reed, and just easy as it plays. 49-34, back to the 15-point lead. 17-17 and counting left in this ball game. Cascade Conference action. Oregon Tech trying to step up the offense. Ryan Roberts really knows exactly where he is on the floor. Got a hand on that. Dished it up, got the steal after the block. Dishes it under behind himself to Langstrat. And now around the arc into the corner for Roberts for 3. Now he'll go baseline. How about Matt? In and out off 3. Wouldn't go. Put back from Ryan Roberts. 4 shots at the basket that time, Craig, and no dice.
Oh, Ryan would like to have that one back because he was wide open from about 7 feet. And normally he'd send money from there, but just a little too hard off the glass.
Oregon Tech and Western Baptist each with 7-3 records in the conference. They go inside to Lamont Swenson, and hanking out back in the weeds there was Langstrat. Picked it up right out of the air, and they're still letting Swenson suffer with no points when he averages 16 a game. Marty Reed pounds out 4 out front and goes immediately to the high post. Rotation to the left side to Platts, who's a great three-point shooter, as is Roberts. And Langstrat, who's in the paint now. Little nice move inside, fake left, fake right, come back with a jumper but miss it.
Oh, Carlson had pretty good position on him, but that's one that Drew with the left hand normally would make. He had good position down low.
Bakayoko turning around on Matt Elliott. Good D underneath by the Warriors. Rejected underneath by Langstrat and put it back in on their 3rd shot try. One thing is very clear tonight, Craig. Western forces you into 3 or 4 shots. They're not going to let you stick around for, make that 1st or 2nd one, but typically they're not giving you 2.
Well, Alex Carlson, 6'6", but he's 225 pounds, and he worked it hard underneath to get that 2nd shot up and in.
15.5 minutes remaining in the game. 49-36 Western Baptist, and Roberts for 3. Craig, that's 4 3-pointers, and it's not as if we haven't seen that before when he was in high school.
Boy, he shot that one so well it didn't even make the net move.
Ball batted out of bounds as Matt Elliott with a hand on it, and Danny Miles says it's time for wholesale changes. Just a couple for Collins as Coach Collins sends in Ben Morris and Mick Jacobson for Ryan Roberts and Nick Platts with 15-19 remaining in the game. Boy, Danny's got to be suffering. He's so used to winning and being in the top 10. It's tough for the Owls not to be there right now, and they're struggling right now. Owls ball trailing 52-36. Whole new crew in there right now as they bring it out to Kevin Baker. Dish it underneath. Easy money off the glass. Freshman Michael Ray's first bucket of the night. Of course, unlike Linfield, they'll send in 3 or 4 at a time every 4 to 5 minutes on the clock. Larry Doty makes the broadcasters sweat on that one. 2 team fouls on Western Baptist. They're going backdoor to Mick Jacobson. You know, that's even a highlight because it was partially rejected and he still got the spin, Craig.
Well, he was actually fouled and he had enough strength to put it up in.
Scoop to the hoop at the other end for Oregon Tech, and that's Kevin Baker, but Mick Jacobson with 14 right now. Off the bench, 54-40. Morris dish it out to Lebanon's Charlie Pace, number 35, and a quick pass over to Reed. A lot of Valley folks on this team, Mid-Valley team players, about 5 of them. Low post to Mick, going up inside, and they block Mick off, and they're going to hold him on the alley-oop underneath.
And that's going to be on Ray as well, as he picks up his second foul as he tries to cut off that baseline before Jacobson gets there.
Boy, you got that on a replay?
I tell you, it was almost another highlight film for Mick Jacobson. He was going to try to slam that thing down and instead draws the foul. So
Mick's worked on one thing since last year. Mick is such an exuberant, go-get-him player. Sometimes it gets away from him after he's done something great. It's not look at me so much, it's like, I got you. And sometimes he will let you know that, and he's picked up a couple of technical fouls, including one from our pal, Todd Greeno, last year. 55-40, Mick only gets one of them. And Oregon Tech trying to battle back as they'll go right in amongst the tall timbers in the white jerseys.
And I think Ben Morris is going to get this one.
They're going to go on Drew on that one.
Never mind. You're right.
I just watched the fingers on the referee. I didn't know any more than you. I thought it was on Ben also. So 3 on Drew Langstrat right now, and 2 on Matt Elliott, the 2 big post players. Langstrat currently with 7 points. Mick Jacobson leading the way, and a nice touch at the free throw line by Matt Johnson.
Drew Langstrat takes a seat as he's being substituted in for by Matt.
Elliott just a nice transfer and a quick whistle after the free throw goes down. He gets them both. 7 for Matt Johnson, 55-42, a couple of changes. One thing we haven't seen, and we just expected it early on, more of a press from Oregon Tech, and maybe it's because they don't have the guns to really do it. But here's a team that will press you half to 3/4 court many times during the game. Offensive foul on Marty Reed. If he hadn't thrown the arm and if he hadn't fallen down, that may not have been a foul.
Well, I think you're exactly right there. When Marty extended the right arm out, that kind of is the big signal there for the push-off. Marty's wanting a little bit of an explanation there, and you're right. I think if he hadn't stuck that arm out there, it probably wouldn't have been called an offensive foul.
He won't be doing that again tonight. 13:47 on the clock here in the ball game, and Oregon Tech with the turnover looking for 3. Chris Johnson, 2 3-pointers tonight. His only field goals of the night draws the Owls within 10.
Boy, and that was an NBA size 3. Wow, now there is a strong pick that time by Matt Elliott. He gets up with a big grin on his face.
He took it, hard shot, and like you said, he drew the charge.
Oh, he's still smiling back there. That's one for the old, you get a little notch on the old belt for that one.
On the inbounds on the side comes from Morris into forecourt now for the Western Baptist Warriors, new 35 in the shot clock. Marty Reed, little push, no call. 3 air ball shot from Morris, and Owls down on the run. The hustling Owls bring it down. Almost a travel. Yeah, I was going to say. There's about 2.5 steps there as he put the brakes on. It looked like Damon Stoudemire spotting up from 22.
Well, Michael Nunes is talking to the official as he's going down the floor. He's the one who's gone down to the floor twice here. And they said, no, you can't flop. You're actually going to have to draw it.
Marty trying to get by Nunes, putting a little pressure on Reed right now with a look-away pass into the corner to Elliott. Mick drawing some double team now. Caught on the baseline out front to Elliott. Make that to Marty. Marty a screen, pull up off the baseline, fall away, nothing. Owls with a rebound, trailing by 10, under 13 to play now. Looking for 3 out front to Matt Johnson. Double teamed underneath. Nice rejection on a freshman, Michael Ray. And the Warriors get the ball back. Jacobson doing the job underneath.
Well, a great backside help that time by Ben Morris as well, Mike.
Around the arc to Elliott. Up on top between the circles, now to Charlie Pace. Charlie, another good three-point shooter. Didn't play hardly at all last year. And there's Mick with a quick jumper. I think a little more extension over the head at that time might have been in order, but Mick with a nice shot nonetheless. Yet the Hustle and Owls get the rebound, still down by 10. Coming up on the 12-minute mark here, and Nunes looking for three, throws up a prayer, he gets nothing. And the rebound, Elliott. And I'm telling you, the Warriors are killing them on the boards, Craig.
Well, and that's something certainly we didn't expect because of the size, as we talked about earlier, but Western Baptist has obviously worked on their inside positioning on the rebounds.
Pace with a give and go under to Elliott. Count the bucket. Boy, Charlie Pace thread the needle on that one. That would be great to see that in a replay. That was just an outstanding move by Charlie.
Well, it was a great feed, but it was also an outstanding finish by Matt Elliott as he had a man right on him and was able to put it in. Now we're going to take a look at it here, coming right at you. There's Elliott with the strength, draws the foul, puts the bucket in. Matt Elliott having a great second half here for Western Baptist.
Matt unofficially right now looking at 8 points if he gets this one to drop, and he doesn't. It's short. Comes off the edge. Morris couldn't get the rebound. Tech with the basketball. 57-45, up by a dozen. Nunes out of control with the double pump roll to the hoop, and a timeout's called with 11:42 to go after the bucket by Nunes.
Well, Danny Miles had his hands up saying, I didn't call a timeout.
Well, Danny, look at the clock and figure it out. It's a media timeout right about now, but I guess they're going to wait till after the next basket. I guess not. Loose ball. Warriors hang on to it. Tech fighting for it. Look away. Over to Mick. Jam it home! Goodness gracious. Mick with his third jam of tonight.
Oh, and that was a play that had disaster written all over it. Marty Reed saved it.
Nunes with the follow-up, no good. Elliott with the rebound and a slap in the side of the head. 59-47. Warrior crowd into this one tonight. Baseball players jumping up and down. Low post to Elliott, back door. Warriors playing like champions right now. Now Danny wants to talk it over.
There you go.
That crowd down in front of us having a great time. They're up in arms, if you will, literally. Baseball players, nothing to do. Let's jump up and down.
Well, Marty Reed is really starting to take command on the offensive end, Mike, for Western Baptist. Last couple of times down the floor, he has found the open man and made the correct pass.
Look away, look at that.
Nice look away pass. That time Mick Jacobson just slams it down. Here's Mick. He comes into this game averaging 12 points. He has 12 points at halftime. And so he has really stepped up his game for tonight.
16 right now for Mick, and 3 of those on jams, or was it 4? I've missed it. Reverse, side, front.
And he's just about showing the whole array.
Nice look inside, another assist inside. Look at that backdoor find for Matt Elliott. Marty Reed, 2 quick ones right back to back just before this timeout with 10 minutes. 54 seconds remaining at 61-47. And when you're playing like this, you do not want to get out of this groove.
Well, you know, you can't imagine that obviously there's a long way to go here in this ball game here, and Tim Collins certainly is not going to relax, but at this point he's got to be thinking, you know, it couldn't be going any better. You couldn't have scripted out any better than it has tonight for Western Baptist so far against a very, very tough OIT team.
I wouldn't start relaxing to that final minute and you've got a double-figure lead. Oregon Tech with the inbound, and they'll go right up, and Mick gets a hand on the ball, alters the man's shot, and it's loose in the air, and the Warriors have it.
Well, you never relax, so.
Well, I can't. God made me fidgety in type A. Up front, Morris for 3. Rim. Well, that one wasn't from nearly downtown Doofer on that one. 61-47. Oregon Tech, boy, you can just see the struggle in their eyes. They want to get back into this one. They want that 3. Going to Lamont Swinson. Still no score. Won't even take the shot. And the defense has kept him out of this game, but he will dish off. And Matt Johnson with the drive in the bucket.
I'm sure Danny Miles was reminding them at the break, there is a long way to go. You don't need to panic just yet and start hoisting up threes. Stay within the offense and get back into this game.
Just under 10 minutes to play. 61-49 Western Baptist by a dozen. Reed with the ball off the left wing, directs traffic from over there. Now inside to Mick Jacobson, and bumping Jake before the shot was Matt Johnson. Johnson, 6'6" sophomore out of the Henley High School, the Henley Hornets in Klamath Falls. So he didn't go far from the home.
Hey, one of these days we're going to have a trivia question. Try to stump Mike with the names of the teams. Okay, what's Paisley's team name?
I don't know. Charlie Pace. Did you say Pace or Paisley?
Paisley.
Pace was with the Warriors, you know, and he just put that one down. And the replay coming back on this one. Charlie, look at this inbound. Marty again finding the former Lebanon Warrior, and down it goes. Charlie to the rack, and he'll get the three-point opportunity here.
Well, you can't get better position on an inbounds right underneath the basket. And that's the kind of really will make a coach go crazy. Yeah. And especially one like Miles, who's very much a technician of this game.
I know that the nearby Lakeview team are the Honkers. Maybe they're the Paisley Sprockets? Well, it was Spacely Sprockets from the Jetsons. Never mind. 64-49 with 9.5 to play. Oregon Tech cannot get back into this one again. Altering the shot underneath was Mick Jacobson. No pressure at all. Only pick him up in forecourt as Marty Reed kind of skips up into the front 47. 64-49 to Charlie. Dumps it low to Jake. MJ backing into the paint. Throws it away. Well, credit Florian Houget for being right there in front of Marty Reed for that steal. Decent house here tonight, probably 3/4 full here. After the shot, Florian takes a little bump from Marty, and Florian takes a nice flop on the floor.
Well, I tell you what, that's one of the things that I've noticed from OIT, especially their guys in the backcourt. If you get just tapped just a little bit, you go flying and try to sell it. And that time Houget does it and is able to draw the foul. I believe that's the second on Marty. And fifth team foul.
What was that song from the 70s? I wanna flop with you all night long. That was Bop. Oh, we could sing flop for them as Houget puts down the shot. His first points of the night. Florian coming in here averaging nearly 10 points a ball game. Played a lot last year as a freshman. 8 minutes, 58 seconds remaining in this one. And because it was a three-point opportunity, he'll shoot three. He's got two already. And now Roberts, Langstrat, and Plotz replace Pace, Jacobson, and Morris. Florian looking for 3 out of 3 at the line. Bangs this one off the iron. Tipped around. Florian at the free throw with the tip back. Puts up the high arcing 2. And there's a guy they've missed, I think, Bakayoko. Out to Lamont for the fall-away jumper. Poor Lamont having a tough time tonight.
Well, he just can't find his rhythm, and credit Western Baptist defense for keeping him out of that rhythm. And now we're seeing some full court pressure.
I think they're about 10 minutes too late. Marty Reed getting bumped out there by Fouget. Elliott pops up. And now they'll just speed up the rotation a little bit with 8.5 minutes to play in this one. Shot clock down to 12. Nick Plotz loses it off of his leg and out of bounds. Nick Plotz, the product of the Santiam High School, I believe, Wolverines or Grizzlies.
Wolverines, there you go, out of Mill City. There you go.
And his dad, Dave Plotz, head men's coach for years and now the head women's coach up there. Ryan Roberts, dad, former head coach at West Albany, here to watch his son tonight. They're going to call Roberts with a reach-up hand grab as the Tech Owls tried to move that ball down low.
Well, that's going to be on Elliott.
It is on Elliott.
Yeah, on the motion. You talk about Ryan Roberts, his younger brother at West Albany is one of the rising stars in the Valley League. Unfortunately, he has mono and has been out most of the year. So
let's hope
young Mr. Roberts.
Ryan had mono last year.
It runs in the family right now.
Let's hope not. Burn the pillows, burn the mattresses.
There you go.
Oregon Tech gets everybody up in the air and a nice drive. Matt Johnson's been as consistent as any of the Tech Owls tonight, I think, Greg.
Well, one of the few times Western Baptist on their defense has given the baseline, and Johnson took full advantage of it.
64-52, up by a dozen with under 8 minutes to play in the ball game. Marty Reed will just draw the crowd and try to get Ryan Roberts free. Here's Plotzy for 3. Nick Plotz, first three-pointer of the night, 7 points on the evening.
Boy, how many guys on this roster can nail the three?
4 for
My
sure
goodness.
that shoot close to 40 or over 40%. And they're going to call it on, oh, look away. I really thought that might have gone against a push-up on the Warriors. They go against Alassane Bakayoko, number 35, and he is not pleased with the call.
Well, it was away from the ball, so he didn't really get to see the action there, but he definitely gets the call.
Underneath with the dribble now, Warrior ball up by 15 with about 7 to play in this one. Marty picking up a whole lot more defensive pressure out front. In fact, so is Plotz and Roberts when they get out in front of the arc. Tight man-to-man, a lot of double teaming in the paint and into the lane and the whistle.
Well, right now, OIT is right where Western Baptist wants them, as they've been able to push their defense out away from the basket in the man-to-man, which opens up the driving and passing lanes. And Marty Reed taking full advantage of it there, going down the lane and drawing the foul.
Marty Reed, one of the better shooters on the team. He shoots about 78% from the free throw line, almost 79.
Well, you remember when Marty had that kind of floppy blonde hair in his face when he was at North Salem High School? Now he's got the kind of crew cut thing going.
I hate to tell you this story because it's going to get around campus, but when he was a sophomore and a freshman, calling signals, if you will, calling out the play when he was bringing the ball up one of his first half dozen games, I remember him calling out 3 or 4, and it sounded something like 4. Poor guy. Got both free throws to drop down. Sorry, Marty. That's just going down memory lane there. And Lamont Stinson again rejected underneath. Still no points, bringing a 16-point-a-game average in here. Cut off, and it remains 69-52 Warriors with 6:42 to go. Nick Plotz having trouble with it. Takes care of the basketball well. It's tough to believe he's been here 4 years already. Langstrat to Matt Elliott. Shot clock at 7. Roberts takes the screen. Give and go. Plotzy for 3. Rejected by Lamont. Loose ball underneath. Nearly picked off by Plotz. Underneath. Picked off. Oh, we got to see that. Langstrat with a pickoff lead to Plotz for the 2-point layup. That was pretty.
Oh, yeah.
Or as they say on ESPN, booyah!
Danny Miles originally was wanting a goaltending on that, but he wasn't going to get it. And he wants a kicked ball there, and he's got a good argument on that one.
Elliott with the pick-off special, but I think he got a toe on it to get that tip. 71-52 with under 6 minutes to play, and Western will hold the ball out front. Oregon Tech, at one point ranked in the top 5 in the nation in the NEIA until right after Christmas. They dropped to 10th and then into the teens, and now they're 17th. And Drew Langstrat takes advantage of just a little bit of gap and drew for 2 and looking at 3.
Yeah, right now everything going Western Baptist way as they are just schooling OIT on how to play defensive basketball. And you see a great drive, puts it up with the right hand, draws the foul. And Langstrat uses his body so well to position himself on the shots.
9 points for Langstrat. Can go double figures here. Give Oregon Tech credit. Here's an 18-point-a-game guy. He's looking at 10 points right now with 5.5 minutes to play in the game. In and out. 73-52. Warriors have led the most of the way tonight, as many as 15 at one point. Oregon Tech says, I'll take 3. And opening it up out front is Kevin Baker, his second three-pointer of the night. He's got 8 on the evening. Now 73-55 with about 5 minutes plus to go. Boy, Marty really negotiates well out there with all that pressure. Nunes not letting up on him either.
Well, OIT not letting up with the pressure at all. With 5 minutes to go, they're still fighting tooth and nail. And we're going to get a travel call on Marty.
You keep him with that ball away long enough, stop the dribble, take the pass. Marty's a quick guy, and that just enough in front of the referee there to call for the turnover. 16 fouls on the Warriors, 8 on the Owls right now with under 5 minutes to play. Nunes with the ball, up for 3 more. Baker says, I got one last time, I'll take another one. Kevin Baker back-to-back threes. Baker right now with 11 points on the night and cuts the gap, and Collins wants a quick timeout with 4:41 remaining in the ball game, 73-58. Mike Gallagher with Craig Spivey. Check your Statesman Journal for broadcast times in the television section of this. And our next Western Baptist game that will be telecast, the very first women's game, John Piper and an unnamed color analyst will be doing that game.
Yet to be named.
Yet to be named. Will be on February the 2nd, which is a Saturday. Yours truly, I'll be traveling on the road with the Bearcats doing radio basketball, but we'll have this game coming up on CCTV. And again, this is the first time ever CCTV has ventured up here onto the hill at Western Baptist College, inside Warrior Court for either basketball or, I should say, basketball or volleyball. And a replay coming up. 2 3-pointers back to back, and here's Baker, 21-foot spot up, nothing but net.
Well, this is why Tim Collins called the timeout here, trying to keep Western Baptist, keep his charges focused just a little bit, as Danny Miles was calling for a full court trapping defense on the way down. Wanted to make sure they didn't turn the ball over, and now OIT has fallen back into a straight man-to-man.
About 4.5 to play here, 73-58 Warriors. Cross-court pass to Elliott, and he faked that pass to the baseline and decides to bring it out on the wing. It'll be keep away from the Oregon Tech house and say, come on out and you know, and just spot on us, slap at us. Elliott says, I got the jumper. Taking it away from the outstretched fingertips of Ryan Roberts, and Oregon Tech down the other way immediately for the 3. Short comes off the edge, tipped by Elliott, picked up by Marty Reed. Now to Plotzy into the corner, in front of that full Western Baptist crowd here tonight, down low. Elliott with a reverse underneath, and all over him. We could hear it up here. Kevin Baker, 4th personal foul.
Western Baptist trying to run as much clock down on each possession and get an open shot here. I'm sure Coach Collins hasn't had to remind his team very much about losing that 15-point lead last Friday night. And they're up by 15 right now. And here's a look at the foul underneath. And Elliott misses the first free throw.
Elliott not having a good night at the strip tonight. He is 1 out of 4 so far with just 9 points. 3:52 on the clock. Get our thanks to head coach and athletic director Tim Collins, sports information director, and Mr. Everything Timmy Smith up here for all of his fine help tonight. And to Bobby Thompson, the SID at Oregon Tech, for all his help. 74-58 as he goes 1 for 2 at the line, looking for 3 out front. Florian Fouget, loose ball, rebound. Roberts up over the top, and Roberts says, oh my goodness. You gotta be kidding me. Well, first foul tonight, Ryan. That's pretty good. You went, 17, almost 36 minutes of play without a foul.
Well, OIT is getting good looks at these 3-pointers. Their last 2 just have not gone in. They are shooting currently just over 36% from the field for this entire game, so they're really struggling from the field.
And Western shot somewhere between 62 and 68% most of the night from the field, and that's a lot of those high percentage shots underneath, and a lot of those 3-pointers as well. Matt Johnson at the free throw line, that's one guy you don't want there. He is 3 out of 3. 12 points for Johnson. Misses the next free throw. Tech rebounds. A big battle between 2 owls into the corner. A new 35 on the shot clock, and he'll work for a couple more. 74-59 with 3.5 minutes to play. Cross court, man-to-man defense. Looking for the 3 out front again. That's an air ball and a pass down to Matt Elliott. Matt says, I'll take that 3/4 court pass down to Drew, but Drew in a little bit of double coverage on the long bomb.
Well, he was actually a 1-on-4 down there, so.
Give and go, Elliott. Look at that. That is a great shot. I wonder if we even have that. Just a couple of quick passes, and Roberts found Elliott wide open underneath. Elliott now with 11, 76-59. Tech struggling from the field, not even 36% now. 3-on-1 jailbreak up ahead to Plotz. They're going to count the bucket. Not going to count the bucket. They say he was on the rim.
It was on the cylinder there when he touched it. Yep.
But I think he thought it was going to pop out straight up, and that's what I thought as well. He was just there for the follow. You guys got that? Boy, that was, even if we had that blown, you got to credit Mick for just going up in behind and trailing it. 2:47 to play, 76-59. Warriors looking to go 8-3 in the conference as they open up the back door and let Florian Fouget dribble in for his first field goal of the night. Marty Reed in no hurry right now, Craig, to get that ball in front court. He'll just take his time and burn as much of that 10 seconds off as he can. Roberts, Jake, and Elliott.
Elliott had a wide open shot but didn't take it. They're going to run the clock down. That's the big thing right now.
Roberts to Elliott. Double team, slap, loose ball. That was no foul called. I guess not. Jake with the reach in. And it'll be a white ball. They said it was controlled by the Tech Owls, but he was standing on the line.
Yeah, Hujae comes down with it, and he puts it on the end line there. So Western Baptist will get it underneath the basket here with 2:11 to go.
Yeah, new 35 seconds on that shot clock, and Reed all the way out front to Nick Plotz. Former 2A high school Oregon Player of the Year 4 years ago. Roberts, Elliott, dish it. Mick Jacobson, exclamation point, fourth jam of the night. 78-61, under 2 minutes to play. Warriors. Mick up, rejected by Elliott. Loose ball foul. Was it before or during the shot? That's what Al Moberg will figure out right now.
Yeah, I think they're going to call this one on the shot.
And they are. They're going to call it on Matt Elliott, I believe, his fourth personal.
Right.
And shooting the free throw will be Matt Johnson, who was 3 out of 4 right now, Craig. 9 team fouls on the Oregon Tech Owls, just 8 on the Warriors. And Johnson misses another one. That's 2 in a row he's missed after hitting 4 straight. Changes now. Speed for height. Michael Ray out. He's the height, and the speed coming in. Chris Johnson, a 6'3" junior. This Johnson hits 1 of 2. 78-62, 147 remaining in the ball game, and the Warriors with the basketball and the lead in what looks like a win as they take on Concordia on Saturday, the 26th of January, here at home. Round the arc left side to Nick Plotz. High post, dish it, Elliott. Nick was all baseline all by himself, and Nick says, I'm not going to do that again. He's had 4 jams tonight. I think that's enough. Got to give him some bread and some peanut butter with that. Up underneath, Elliott, nice scoop to the hoop, misses the shot. Battles hard, Matt put back and down. Greg, like you said, everything going the Western Baptist Warrior way.
Well, they're right on their scoring average right now. Got 80 points in this ball game. And this is such an important win as we see the 3 being launched. Another air ball as Ryan Roberts comes down with it to get this win at home.
Mick going for the loop from Marty Reed, but he was chased out of the alley and he could not get to the ball, so they had to just circle around and hang on to it. We're under 50 seconds to go in this one. Here we go for Ryan Roberts looking for his backdoor jam, and it's just a jam fest. You know, I got to say this, and I've watched enough games the last 6 years between these two ball clubs. When Oregon Tech's got us on the ropes, they'll jam it down our throat. They'll run a 20, 25-point lead on us. We've got them on the ropes with 40 seconds to go, and we lead it by 18. Time to start the van. The car keys are out. Long shot from 3 wouldn't go. Loose ball rebound back. Some of the students holding up the car keys saying it's time to get out and start the van up and head out of town.
Boy, is a college great.
Especially small college.
There you go. 30 seconds.
Look at Mick. Got a little smile on his face. 30 seconds and counting. And I think Marty's just going to be content to hold that ball and let the Owls come out and foul him. 18 seconds. And they can hold it the last few seconds of this ball game. This crowd is on its feet as the Western Baptist College Warriors will pick up their 8th win in their last 11 ball games and stand into second place by themselves behind Evergreen State College as number 24 is beaten number 17 in the NEIA. The Oregon Tech Owls have gone down, and this is the first time in 9 games that the Western Baptist College Warriors men's team has beaten Oregon Tech. The last time was in 1997, down there, if you will, in a big playoff win, 96-69, when Tim Hills took the Warriors to the NEIA Finals. Our final score, the Warriors 80 and 62 for Oregon Tech. We'll pause for a few moments here, and we'll come back down, and we'll talk with some of the players and perhaps head coach Tim Collins when we return. Partial sponsorship for tonight's ball game brought to you by Papa John's Pizza with 3 convenient locations in Salem and in Kaiser. Papa John's is great pizza. Also by Travel Lodge, affordable accommodations at Travel Lodge in Salem on State Street. And by our friends at United Rentals in Salem on Silverton Road, it's United Rentals. And we go to the postgame show here after the big win tonight. Western Baptist taking over Oregon Tech on a final of 80-62. A couple of the guys that played real key roles tonight. To my right, your left, former North Salem basketball star Marty Reed. And Marty, tonight, held you kind of down a little bit, but I think you'll kind of give that 10 assists and 3 rebounds with that 9 points. Nice combination.
Thank you. They were collapsing on me when I would drive and just kick it. Guys like Mick just finished it really well tonight for me.
We watched a lot of good highlights tonight. Not only you getting some shots up, but you finding Mick backdoor. A lot of guys in underneath for the basket. They were really sagging off on you enough for you to find that low post pass.
Yeah, we've really been working on moving the ball in extra time during the week, getting ready for OIT, and as a team, we did that real well, and we got a lot of open looks.
I saw a lot about better defense than I saw in the second half against Albertson last week, and I have a feeling you guys practiced that this week.
And we just said in the locker room at halftime that we couldn't come out and just let them score like that. We came out with a lot of intensity and really took it to them.
Big test against next week, of course. Concordia this weekend, Evergreen State coming up. This is a team that's playing exceptionally well. You guys are playing well right now, too. You've won 8 of your last 11.
Hopefully we can get Concordia. We should. I mean, they're tough. We got to play well to beat them. But Evergreen will be a tough game. We got to get ready for that.
Marty, good game tonight. Good game tonight. We appreciate you coming by. We're going to slide over here and talk to the man who spreads more jam than people do on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, Mick Jacobson tonight. Looking at the official stats tonight, Mick, leading all scores with 19 points, just 2 rebounds, 5 dunks, 1 assist, 3 turnovers. You guys had it going tonight, and you play so well off the bench. I'm telling you, they really just sagged off on you and allow you to score.
Yeah, we really wanted this game. No one on this team has ever beaten Tech. We've always lost to them, and this was a big week of practice for us, and we just came ready to go get them because we didn't want to go out not winning against Tech. So this was a big game, and we just came out at them.
You guys are tied for second. Typically, Tech is always ranked a little higher, usually has a couple of wins on you. Right now, you're playing better than they are.
Yeah, this whole conference is just tough, top to bottom, and Tech and us and Evergreen, we're all fighting for that top spot and all want home advantage for the playoffs. So it's going to be a battle all the way through. There's going to be no easy ones.
Was this easy tonight, really? Because of the 18-point lead and at one point 15 and 16-point lead, 10 most of the game, it looked as though they were ready to strike back and come back at any time.
Like I said, nothing's easy in this league. Everyone from top to bottom is tough. It's all about preparation, how much you prepare and how much your coaches are ready for. And I think Coach Collins did a great job of preparing us for this game and getting us ready for the Tech.
What was it like in practice after the Albertson loss when it looked like you probably had it won last week? I would imagine a little intense.
Yeah, we were all a little down, but we knew that if we stayed down that we'd probably lose the second night. So we just came out hard the next night, and we got Eastern Oregon. So we had a really good day practice just to get ready for Eastern Oregon.
You and Drew Langstadt really complement each other well, as does Matt Elliott, you 3 guys down low.
Yeah, we're all just best friends, and we hang out all the time, so we got good camaraderie with each other. And we couldn't do it without the guards that we have because they get it to us time and time again right where we need it and want to get with it. So the guards have a big play in that, too. It's not just us posts.
Nick, good luck the rest of the way. Nice job tonight. Big win. And the man that helped engineer the win tonight, head coach Tim Collins, 80-62. When you beat a Danny Miles team, you know you've beaten a good team.
They're always good, Mike. And it's been a while. I think we've lost like 9 games to them in a row. And last time we beat them was in '97 when Hillsey won the conference title. So it's about time, a little bit of a payback there, I hope.
You guys shot over 62% tonight from the field, 54% from three-point range. You have to work on the free throws a little bit. You got 3 guys in double figures. And everything was just cooking, front court, back court, the lobs into Mick, steals, everything.
Right, I think everybody was focused tonight. We have 3 seniors that we're going to lose. They haven't beat them yet. We know it's going to be tough to beat them at Oregon Tech. So tonight they were telling each other, this is going to happen tonight for us.
This has got to be a huge win because it's hard to win down in Klamath Falls. Plus, you've got Evergreen State ahead.
It is. It's tough. You know, that elevation down there, usually the guys are always tired. It's not an excuse, but it's a tough place to play. And their crowd always gets in the game big. About 2,000 or 3,000 people every night. Actually, more than that, I think, that pack that gym out. So it's tough to win down there. You get the crowd behind them. I thought our crowd was great tonight.
They were. And Tim, what did you have to do after that tough Albertson loss, a team that you probably could have beat and shouldn't have beat? Something happened. You guys lose. Certainly, I would imagine the practices were a little bit intense between then and now.
You know, we haven't changed much. The only thing that we've changed is that's not a good matchup for us when we play Albertsons. This is an easier matchup. You notice we both have big players in the middle. We both have pretty good shooting guards, so we're similar. And we can defend someone that's similar, but Albertson plays a totally different style. A lot of times they play 4 guards around one big guy, and we always have a rough time with that one matchup. So that's usually been our Achilles tendon on that one.
Is Concordia a warm-up for Evergreen State this weekend?
You know, Concordia is scary. I'll just tell you straight up. Their record, they're 5-13 or whatever they are. I'm not sure about their record, but they are the best team with that record that I've seen around in a while. They have one of the best players in the conference in Keith Childs.
And I haven't seen except perhaps one team the last 7 or 8 games you've got. There's no easy ones, and then that means tonight too.
Yeah, I mean, it goes all the way down to the worst team in terms of record. They could beat anybody. Northwest College is down there at 9th right now. All their games are 4-point games with the Techs and Albertson. So if you don't show up and play well, they'll get you.
Good luck down the stretch.
We're happy to be where we're at, though.
Coach Tim Collins, good game tonight.
Thanks, Mike.
You bet. Well, we're going to wrap it up here again at CCTV game. Coach Tim Collins with a big win, 2nd place in the Cascade Conference. And Craig, if we could look at anything tonight, it was just out hustling. Oregon Tech shoots 34% from the field, 29 from the 3-point range, 66 from the free throw line. We double them up in almost many categories.
Well, of all the talk about offense in these games, in this game about 2 teams coming in averaging over 80 points a game, it really comes down to the defense. And the number one thing that the coaches of the Warriors wanted to do was limit the number of touches that Lamont Swenson had tonight, and they certainly did that. They got him out of his rhythm. He didn't score a single point, and it was just a great defense. And the other big key for Western Baptist was along the baseline with the post guys, and able to get the low post guys into the offense with some slams and jams, and they really dominated on the boards where we didn't think they would.
I was impressed, I think, with the play at both sides of the court, both ends of the court, big guys, small guys, and especially our bench play, Western Baptist.
Sure, you look at the guys, everybody who came off the bench contributed, and especially when you start out with someone like Ryan Roberts starting so hot and hitting 3 threes in a row. And then it was Mick Jacobson picking up the offensive slack after that. So a lot of players getting into the rotation and really helping out. Jacobson, it's hard to believe he's not a starter coming off of the bench. He comes with such energy and such power. It's really amazing.
19 points for Nick tonight, and officially 16 for Ryan Roberts and 3 rebounds. 12 points tonight for Matt Elliott, the center, with 7 rebounds and 2 assists. Marty Reed, 9 points and a total of 10 assists, 5 rebounds. What a great combination, and they've got several games to go. It's going to be a tough, long stretch, but if they want to get back at it, they've got to beat Evergreen State, and that comes up in about a week.
Well, and this was the big start here. OIT, they've got them down in Klamath Falls. They know that. They knew they had to get this game at home to get the series or get the upper hand going against OIT. They got this one in the bag. That's good. Now it's time to go against Evergreen State.
8-3 in the conference. Western Baptist, number 24 in the nation, could jump up inside the top 20 next week. We'll see. Again, our thanks to the folks at Western Baptist College for this first ever broadcast from CCTV Sports. Tonight, the men defeat the Oregon Tech men 80-62. Stay tuned. Coming up in about a week or a couple of weeks, Evergreen State College and the Western Baptist women will play right here on CCTV. We'll have that game for you as well. Again, our thanks to everybody at CCTV and at Western Baptist College. For my partner, Craig Spivey, I'm Mike Gallagher. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Western Baptist beats Oregon Tech 80-62. Good night, everyone.